So just made it to the entrance of the Pena Palace. As you can see, there is a huge queue behind me. But thanks to Mario, I already purchased my ticket online, so I can jump the queue and go right in. So I don't have to stand in this massive queue. So let's go right in. And so that's the high cross, which is the highest point of Sintra, as Mario was saying. Try to go there as well. Start with the Palace of Pena, the 14% elevation, 525 meters. So on the way here, Mario was telling me an interesting story about these rock formations and the trees. So these rocks are actually the result of the magma trying to push its way up, but not exploding. There was no volcanic eruption, so the magma kind of pushed the ocean bed up. And along the way here, when you're driving up or walking up, you can see the ocean sand solidifying into rocks, and in some places it's still sandy. And these trees are planted by King Ferdinand, who actually built the Pena Palace. So I think they got about 1,500 species of trees from all around the world. So before it was just a barren mountain. That's why it was called the Mountain of the Moon. It was all barren, and when the moonlight shone on it, it was all like nice and white and shiny. There was like a sort of romance between the moonlight and the hills. It was called the Mountain of the Moon. But then he planted the vegetation so that, you know, you could get the moisture from the ocean and the entire water cycle that Mario was explaining at the previous water fountain. Pretty cool stuff. Bit of a incline up, and then you get to the palace. I think I can start to see a little bit of it already. Okay, there we are. About 100 meters to go. Okay, so that behind me is the Pena Palace, nice and colorful. Let's get closer, and I'll tell you more about the color scheme as well. When we were at the cork tree in the forest down there, Mario told me a little bit about what the colors mean and where they come from. So although it looks nice and bright, but they also have a significance. So let's get closer. So at one of the sort of mini watchtowers behind. So this color scheme that I was telling you, so green is the color of nature. So there is King Ferdinand planted all of these trees here. This blue and white is the color of his then wife. So the flag from that kingdom ruling. And a bit of blackish, and the other color schemes were from King Ferdinand's, I think it was German root, so he was mixing all of these cultures in the different colors that he was bringing here. And that red tower was, that one was a chapel first, but then where Vasco da Gama went to discover India, and then he did a couple of trips, and then one time he didn't come back on time, so King went inside to pray for his safe return. And then eventually he showed up, so there's a view of Lisbon on the other side, and then he was finally coming back. But then in the 1800s this was destroyed, just like many other places, and then I think now it's more of a monastery of some sort. But now I'm going to start exploring. First I have to queue up to go inside. There's a pretty long queue here, so I have to wait for that first, and then I'll start exploring a bit of the exterior afterward. Oh, this architecture is really cool. Nice. Before I went inside, I came to the terrace. That's a lush greenery planted by King Ferdinand, and then aerial view of Lisbon and then the Atlantic further down there. wall walk is pretty amazing. You get really amazing views, but if you're afraid of heights, this is gonna make you really scared. You're pretty high up. I mean, okay, just 200-300 meters elevation, but all looking over all that valley and all the wind is gonna make you scared a little bit, but I'm loving it so far. The views are really nice. I was standing on that watchtower when I was explaining about the color scheme, and the terrace is over there. So I did the terrace. Now time to queue up to start exploring the inside of the palace, and the line doesn't seem to be getting any shorter. Just came out to visit the Queen's Terrace while doing the tour of the interior of the Pena Palace, and amongst this crowd I was there a couple of minutes ago. Well, actually more than that. It's been a while. This interior of the palace is quite big, takes a while because they're doing like mini batches of people, and this metal kind of frame was used as for the awning in the summer season. It's still used as such, but the views from here are quite nice, and I think somewhere there is a cafe, so I'll try to go there and grab a snack because it's almost 12:30. So after exploring the Pena Palace, I was super hungry, so went to the restaurant inside and ordered a different bunch of dishes, kind of like made a tapas menu myself, custom. Was a big giant portion, totally full, but really loved it. The flavors were nice, and then I started walking around the Pena Park, came up and climbed this mini hillock to go all the way up to this viewpoint called the High Cross, and that's the highest viewpoint of Sintra, and you have the nice scenic view of Lisbon on one side, Atlantic Ocean. A bit misty today, but all in all this was the highest point, even higher than the Pena Palace, so of course couldn't miss this viewpoint. So just as you can see, it's very windy, that's why I didn't vlog up there. Using the tree cover to break the wind a little bit along with the mic, so I'm hoping that the voice is slightly clear while I'm vlogging. And on the way down, I probably have to walk all the way to the city center because there was a fire warning, so they blocked off all the roads. So Mario can't drive all the way up with Blues to come pick me up, but he gave me a nice idea to go walking inside this park all the way to the valley of the lakes and exit from that side, so that I could then easily walk to the city center, and that would be a nice walk. But anyways, had to improvise. Hopefully the other Quinta de Regaleria that I also booked and bought the tickets online to still make there in time. So let's see how it goes. Now I have to walk all the way downhill since I climbed to come to this viewpoint. It's all cobbled streets, nice and windy. Tree shade here is really cool. Also, because of all this vegetation, I think the weather in Sintra is a bit cooler than in Lisbon. Lisbon yesterday I was melting, I think it was 30 plus, but here I think it's more around 20 something, early 20s, so it's perfect weather to be out and about. Otherwise I'd be melting here. I'd be down by I think 4 liters of water by now, but so far I'm still using the water from the stream that I collected before, drinking it bit by bit and really enjoying the walk here. The park is like really lush green, amazing views. So I guess if you just want to come here and chill, not so much as a touristic point of view, but just to relax a bit, that could be also nice. Okay, so this is the main entrance where I came from, so you can exit from there next to the Pena Palace. This is the high cross we just saw, but I want to see the valley of the lakes, the stables, the chalet. So they are all down that way, and yeah, I mean, if you exit out here, probably you could see the wall, the monument that I showed you from the wall walk. You could go from here, but I guess I would have to skip that because I'm already going down and I don't feel like climbing all the way back up. But anyways, these are nice places to see as well, and then try to move to the next monument. I suppose this is ocean sand that Mario was telling me about. Decided to take a little detour and walk right through the middle of the forest just to see what all plants they have here. So there are like ferns and a couple of different trees. This is like a forest valley. Yeah, really interesting. I'm just headed on the way to the valley of lakes, and there are like different small paths, detours you could choose from. So just run around as you feel fit. So finally came to the valley of the lakes, and this was the trailer that Mario showed me with blues outside on the main street while we were going up to the Pena Palace. That's the main street we went up from. So gonna exit from this side, and Mario showed me a shortcut to get to the city center. Let's see if I can find it. So it looks like I can still get to the Moorish castle. Okay, that's cool. Try and get inside. Let's see what's there. So just had a call with Mario, and it turns out because of the fire prevention, the city hall decided to close all the monuments until Friday, which means the Quinta de Regaleria, which I was trying to explore, is no longer open for exploration. So all I have left to do now is this hiking trail that I'm going up. So Mario explained at the end there would be a junction. On the right you'll have the Moorish castle, on the left you'll go down to the city center. So unfortunately we won't be meeting again because there's nothing else to do. So but thanks Mario so much. If you're watching this vlog, at least thanks to you I managed to get up the hill. I learned whatever I could about Sintra during the time you were with me. That's good. And from here on I'll continue exploring on my own. And thanks so much for the suggestion. I mean, if I would have come here alone on my own, seeing this hiking trail, I would be totally confused if I'm on the right track or not. But as I thought, because the Moorish castle starts from the top of the Pena Palace where you dropped me next to the queue, so I guess I'll climb up that bit and then I'll get to the Moorish castle. So probably this is going to be the last bit of Sintra, unless I find something interesting on the way to the city hall. But let's keep the exploration going despite the odds. So this is what he meant. I'm here go up here. This is the junction. This goes down to the city center, I suppose, and this one would bring me to the castle, hopefully. No, everything is closed, the ticket counter, etc. This is the entrance, by the way, but everything is closed because of the fire issues. So I guess I'm walking down to the city center, just chilling there. Since all the main routes are closed, we are gonna end up hiking all the way back to the city center now. But met a cool bunch of people along the hike, so at least I'm not alone hiking with some people. Maybe we could chill in the city center. The people here are amazing. They randomly locked some gates, they randomly put some tapes somewhere, so everybody's running around clueless. We are adventuring out on the rocks, trying to figure out a way exit to the city center. Let's see if we make it on this quest to get to civilization. Headed to the old town center, away from the hiking trails. Just gonna rest here for a little bit. I had fun having coffee after finishing the random hike. Met this lady from the Netherlands during the hike, so we made friends and we had a nice cup of coffee and met an English couple who was just chilling with them in a cafe nearby and just walking around the old town, looking at the views a little bit, and then probably gonna head over, since everything is closed and all the tourists are down in the city center now because there's nowhere else to go, so it's starting to be a little bit crowded. I'm back at the National Palace of Sintra. Because of the fire hazard, the tour ended abruptly, but anyways, I had a lot of fun. Thanks Mario once again for showing me around and telling me a lot about the history and the geography of the town of Sintra. Your explanations made it really nice to get an immersive experience of the town of Sintra. And I guess with this, I'm gonna end this episode, head over back to Lisbon and continue the exploration from there.